is the Small Business Lifers podcast. It's one of our first shows. We've did a couple so far, and I'm really excited to have Marie in. Marie's been a lifetime friend who runs two businesses, folks. Believe it or not, she's that capable. I don't know how she does it. Cheers, which is really cool. She's going to tell you about that in a minute, and her New Leaf Hypnosis, I believe, is the other business. So I'm going to give you the stage here before we get deep into business talk. Tell me about your businesses, Marie.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me. This is great, and this podcast you're doing is fabulous. I think it's going to be very helpful to all of us small businesses. This is great. Cheers, we developed out of a need we had. My husband retired from his position, and he wasn't ready to retire at 50. And what am I going to do? We were looking for a gift for a wedding, and we thought, geez, this couple loves to go to all the breweries in the area, loves the local wines and brews. And too bad we don't have a delivery service or a beer of the month club kind of thing. And then we just kind of went, oh, yeah, yeah. Haldeman in Norfolk, we've got 19 wineries, breweries, and distilleries. Now we've got coffee roasters, tea blenders, and all the product made here is insane. So why don't we get that all together? We can deliver it to you like HelloFresh, but booze. And then we do a lot with gift baskets for companies or for people. Any budget, any denomination. It's great. We deliver it to you.
Wow.
Pretty
And
cool.
and you guys started that how many years ago now?
Our first delivery was Christmas of 2020.
So pandemic time,
Yeah.
probably a good time to actually folks weren't getting out, right?
They weren't getting out, and I think they were looking for something new and a way to support local. I think that whole pandemic thing brought local to the table. Like, this stuff is made right here, and you can still get it. You can't get out and get what you want. You can't get out and go to Costco.
Yeah.
So here's your options. And shopping local became huge, and I think it still is. I think it still is.
Let's stick with Cheers for a minute because when you started that, can you walk me through some of the trials and tribulations early on? Like, I mean, you're starting during really the start of the pandemic. Like, was it?
We
I
did.
mean, you got to get permits. You got to at what you guys are capable of doing now. I mean, that first I'm going to say first year, first 6 months must have been just crazy trying to get organized. Can you walk us through what you and Rob went through?
Yeah, fortunately for us, we started the process in August, put together a website. Fortunately, we've done that before, and the products out there are really easy to work with. So getting the website up and happening, getting the permits was not difficult. Just calling Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario and saying, "Hey, here's what I want to do. What do I need?" And we did that over the phone. We contacted all of the breweries, the wineries, all by email. And then we met with them virtually and said, this is what we want to do. We want to feature your product. Are you in? It, thank God for Zoom. Otherwise, it would have been a different situation, right? Um, but
Was it
luckily, we were able to pull it all together in 3 months.
when you were starting out? I mean, I remember talking to you and you guys were working on logos. You were getting your boxes in. You were like, you guys walk us through that for a sec because I don't think people when they want to start a business, everybody's got a great idea. But then when you start that second phase where your store sort of have to go, like you said, the permits worked well, but you're still building your business. You're looking for that right logo, which I think you guys have. You're looking for that connection to the community and to other business partners. You talked a bit about that, but was that was that sort of the base of what you had to get done first?
Yeah, yeah, we had to have the logo and our vision really of what we wanted to do. Um, then we could build the website, but we had to have the partners first.
Yeah.
So once we had all the partners, we built the website, kept it going. Really, I'd started it, but then added all the partners in. Figuring out pricing was a little bit of a challenge, And, we started locally. We
Yep.
only deal local. So that did make it a little bit easier for us. Even though we could get our boxes a little bit cheaper on Amazon, we chose a company in Cambridge, a family company with the same values as us that want to do good in this world. We chose them. The same with our wrapping. Yes, our ribbon and the cellophane is probably not made in this country, but we get it from Woodstock. So,
Yeah.
we purposely sought out local, and that's all we do.
That's kind of cool too. I have a strong appreciation because I think with the magazine, the Hub magazine, I think we're the only print that actually prints in Haldeman, Norfolk at Annex.
I think
We're
you
the
probably
only
are.
ones.
Yeah.
And to me, yeah, I just thought it was, that was a no brainer to go there because they could do our product and they're great guys. They're those guys and they're wonderful
Yeah,
people, guys and girls that we work with there. So
absolutely.
I agree with you 100% on that. I got to ask about the work hours. I mean, I know you and Rob don't stop. It's Is this business, the Cheers aspect of it, a 24/7 thing? Like you guys, I see you making little videos. I see you having fun, but talk a bit about that because you really got
That's
to enjoy
it.
your work, don't you?
We do. The people we have met is just mind blowing. Um, People have the same interests. They love local, they love beer, they love wine. And we've got to go to all of the breweries and the wineries and sit on the patio and enjoy a cocktail or two. We can't be handing out like
No,
garbage, right? We
the
just
taste
enjoy
test.
it. Yeah, we got to taste test everything.
Don't
It's
worry,
just
folks. I know they
fun
always
for
get a
us.
DD. Yeah,
We
I know you
do,
always get
we do.
a.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun for us. Um, and there's good stuff out here. Why would I go somewhere else? It's good. Yeah,
So
we just enjoy what we do. Yeah, the orders can come in overnight, but I also turn off my notifications at 10 o'clock. And if somebody wants, a basket to send to their loved one for their birthday, I'll get to that in the morning, and we will get that out to you usually that day.
I was just going to ask you that because um, I remember you when you were starting to do everything online. Talk a bit about that because a lot of businesses, most are online. Like as far as you can do you can go to your website and do all your ordering on
Yes,
cheers.info or
yes.
.ca. I'm not sure, but you can go do
Cheers.ca. Cheers
cheers.ca.
Norfolk. Cheersnorfolk.ca. Yeah.
Yeah, you can go there and do all that and sort of talk
Yeah.
about setting up that process because that probably too was another part that took some time.
It did. It did. And it's changing all the time. Right now, we're finding that maybe subscriptions aren't that popular. So we're maybe scaling back on those. We went to quarterly, and it's just maybe not the thing for us right now. So, but the gift baskets have amped right up. So we are focusing on that and adding in non-alcoholic options too, which has been really cool. We've got that in our county as well. um, Snacks, a lot of different snacks in a basket and sending those out. People are enjoying it for gifts. Yeah, and everything is customizable. So you love beer, but you don't love IPAs. So we put in everything but IPAs and some snacks we pair with it, and out it goes to the person you want it to go to. Hey, what do you think is the occasion that we are bringing the most gifts to? Does that make
Uh,
sense?
Anniversaries.
Uh-uh. Funerals.
Oh wow.
Funerals. Yeah. Yeah. What
You
better
wouldn't
to
thought
say?
like you never would have thought of that in a million years when you started
No,
this business, would you?
no.
That was like my
But we
next question.
started that. Yeah. Yeah. A friend passed away, and we took a cheers basket with a nice toast, to remember your person and,
Celebration of
celebrate the
life.
good times.
Yeah.
And we started advertising that, and it has gone crazy. What a better way to do that? Celebrate rather than, you know, the op- the
That
the
was
opposite.
that was my next
Yeah.
question because the twist and
Yeah.
turns to survive in business these days is incredible. Like you literally got to
That's
be on your
key.
toes.
That is key, Dave. You've got to be accepting of change and pivot. Pivot, pivot, pivot. You have to, in my opinion, if you were to stay stagnant, that's where you're going to go, right? Because the
Yeah.
world is changing around you. And if you're not willing to change with it and adapt and do what you have to do to get your product, to get your service to the people who need you, well, you're just digging yourself a hole, really. You
Yeah.
may as well just put up the close sign, because there is always a way to make changes. And sometimes it's not fun. A lot of people don't like change. Fortunately, I'm one of those people who do. There's a different way I'm doing it.
You got to
Um,
roll with it, don't you? You really
you got to
do.
roll
And
with it.
sometimes, like you said, with the baskets that you're doing for funerals, the surprise of it all is like, oh damn, I didn't think of that. And then it creates a whole new venue that you can take your product to, which is critical
Exactly.
because I remember this line this guy told me years ago. He said, "You work in your business too much. You need to work on your business and grow it." And I thought, bang,
Oh,
right? Because
absolutely.
if you're so enthralled in what you're doing in that one aspect, you
Yeah,
forget that you need six other ones going, or you need to be tapping into finding out why this wouldn't work or would work for you. And I never,
exactly.
that just kind of stuck with me because it's like, oh yeah, you're totally right on the stagnant part, because you and I both over the years have seen business come and go, and they get caught in that. And I get it. I understand it, but you can keep your base in something sort of like you did with Cheers. We did with the Hub. The magazine's the base. So
Yeah,
let's build
yeah,
around
for
everything
sure.
else that goes on with that, because people are going to read that and they want that. It's the same with Cheers and beers. I mean, they're going to see, they want that. Let's figure
Yeah,
out different ways to get it to them, right?
exactly. They love going to the wineries, the breweries, and trying all different things. And maybe they just don't have the money to do a subscription every month. So we thought, okay, here's another idea. Let's take the party to them. They don't have to have a DD. We show up with everything we need to do, a guided wine tasting or beer tasting or both, the
Oh,
glasses, the beer, the wine, the items we're going to pair it with, whether it be cheese, chocolate, all of that. We guide your guests and yourself through a tasting, then we clean up and leave.
what a
We had a
great idea.
tasting, right?
That's, I
It's,
didn't know you were doing that. I was like, just blows my mind. Like, what a great idea
yeah,
for if you're
right.
having a little social, right? Hey, here's what we're going to do. Robin and Marie are coming
Exactly.
in.
Bring us in. We take care of everything for you, and you can just enjoy your guests, and you don't have to drive. I mean, so that's another thing. Like we found that the subscriptions were coming down. So what are we going to do to supplement? That was where we went.
Talk about the conversations you must have had around these, because I know myself when all of a sudden I'm like, oh, darn, I got to get more advertisers. I need to do this. And it's
Yeah,
kind of that conversation you got to have, you don't want to have, right? You got to sort of look
exactly.
at where you can put your resources the best. And that's a tough decision, isn't it?
It was tough. It was tough. Yeah, we had to. We have loyal customers who want to keep the subscriptions. I'll use that for an example. Um, awesome. We're continuing to give
Yeah.
those to them. We will continue to deliver to them, but we're not actively promoting that much. We'll gladly do it, but um, we're kind of pivoting into, there's that word again, pivot, into the gift baskets and into the guided tastings.
That's cool. I
The
didn't,
conversation was um, pretty easy, right? I mean, you've met Rob, so if I say, honey, we've got to do something a little different, he says, okay, what do I need to do? Um, Luckily for me, our relationship is so long and we know each other so well that we can just talk about it. I didn't get any pushback, and he came up with some great ideas. And um, he's always open and willing to work together. So for us, that was easy. But
yeah,
I realize it's not going to be that for everybody. But you just have to bring your case to the table, and maybe with a solution too, not just saying, hey, this isn't working. Well,
yeah.
what are we going to do? So just keep on working it out. You've just got to communicate.
I think you brought up another point because you keep bringing up all these damn good points about working with your spouse. In a lot of
Yeah.
small businesses, Monica obviously is knee deep in this with me as well. And
Mm-hmm.
we don't always agree on everything, but we understand the conversation has to be had and we understand
Absolutely.
how to get through it.
Absolutely.
And at that, if a young guy and a young woman or partners are starting out in business in any form or shape, you've got to have that groundwork down because you can't halfway in, you can't make those, you can't say, well, I don't like what you're doing. Right.
Exactly. And
It's got,
Dave, not just married couples or partners. Your relationship with your business partner is just as important too. You
yeah,
still have to have that communication. You're basically married to that person too. Um, yeah, business partner, or even your staff. Like you've ask your
yeah,
staff, your frontline people, hey, what's happening out there? What do we need to do to make changes? It doesn't all come down to the owner or the entrepreneur or the managers. You've got good people around you. Hopefully, you've surrounded yourself with good people. Use them too. Take their feedback. I mean, they're the ones that know, right? And when it is your spouse, um, or partner, try to separate that too. We've got our business hours and then we have our play hours. And we try, even though our business is kind of play, we
best of both
we
worlds.
well, yeah. But like I said, 10 o'clock, the alarms go off, everything is done, and that's just our time.
Yeah,
So
it's cool.
yeah, and days too. Like we do have our babies 2 days a week. So when it's time for baby time, we there's no work on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's totally
Shut
focused
her.
there. And that's
Cool.
important, I feel, to have a life outside your business. So then when you go back to it, you can appreciate it.
I think too, and it's a lot. I remember when I first started in business a long time ago, it was really hard because you have to be out there.
You
You have an
do.
outgoing personality and you have to have that. You have to be willing to have conversations no matter what. And I think that's
Absolutely.
one piece of advice I would give to somebody starting out is that's a skill you really got to work on because if you can't have conversations with potential clients or product people you're buying from, it's going to
Yeah.
be tough. And I think one of the things I had to learn over the years, and maybe you did too, is it's how you approach that conversation. If I'm going to talk to you, I'm going to listen to you first because I need to know your base and what you're thinking and who you are. And sometimes I think when people start out in business, they forget that it's not about you.
Yes.
It's about that
Yes.
person that you want to work with. And you have to understand
Exactly.
that person first.
Exactly. Um, if you go in there demanding this price for this product, and that, I don't know about everyone else, but I'm going, I don't need you. You know,
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
need your headaches. I don't want to worry about pleasing you. I'm worried about pleasing my customers. Um, you have other options. Thank you for your time, but I respectfully decline. I think you have to, yes, learn how to do it. And if you can't, get the help that you need to be able to do that. Hey, there's a segue to New Leaf, but um, or get someone who can.
Yeah.
Maybe you can hire someone who can easily do that. But um, I think if you give yourself a chance, you'll be able to do it, and you might just surprise yourself at how easy it is to just be personable and communicate what you need and what they have and how you can work together.
What's the one, and this question's coming, but what's the one piece of advice you would offer to somebody starting out in business? What would you suggest? Is there anything that you've learned over the years?
Make sure it's something that you love. We've all had jobs that we did for the money. I really suggest do something that you enjoy, because when you enjoy it, it makes it easier to go to work every day, or the work comes to you. However, if you're an online source, um, that saying, when you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life, something like that. I don't feel this is work.
Yeah,
And
I
and to be able to share that joy,
Yeah.
it's infectious. Other people want to be involved in that. So many people have come to us and said just that. You're having so much fun, you make us want to order.
Yeah.
And great, because it is fun. I love sharing what is available here. When I find a new product, like for instance, you probably saw our video about the maple taffy in the cones from Sally. Yeah,
I didn't
Sally.
see. Oh,
You didn't see that? Dave,
no.
it was totally unprompted. We had the camera up and we were, as we do, oh, we're out getting, and we stopped at Pepper Mac Maple and picked up our order, and she had just made these tiny ice cream cones and filled them with maple toffee. Dave, and I
I'm gonna
thought, I
have to
can't
find
even
this.
edit this out. It's
Send
ridiculous.
me the
Here's the
link.
two of us. The two of us are loving it so much. It's ridiculous. But do you know how many of those she sold after? It was ridiculous. So we don't even care. We're out having fun and doing our thing. And, you know, if you don't like it, turn the channel.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't watch us.
He's
I'm
fine.
not going to.
Move on.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
and there's another something too, just a little wee tidbit for everybody who's doing the social media. I learned long ago in my very first social media course when I started all of this, when social media became a thing, because in our vintage, we didn't have any of this,
I like that word vintage.
right? It's our
Yeah.
vintage. Um, Nobody's looking, well, maybe some people are looking at Dave your hat and
Yeah.
thinking, what's all that behind you? And they're saying, Marie, what is going on with your hair? Or, nobody's doing that. They're listening to your message.
Yeah.
They're listening and they're not looking at that. Just don't agonize over that. Make the video, have a run through to make sure you're saying what you thought you were saying,
Yeah.
and get it out there. you
Yeah.
know,
That's exactly it.
don't agonize that, oh, the light's not quite right, or get it out
You
there. They
become
want to hear you be real.
I always tell people when they buy, and I know I told you over the years, when they buy ads, simple is better
Mm-hmm.
because a clean message, it'll stick with you. If I see a page full of
Absolutely.
words and if
I'm
I
not
see
reading
one
that.
line, do you need help with? Okay, this is addressing me and this is an issue I have trouble with. So, maybe I can
Yeah.
call this person. But I think that's the other part of it too, is I think we think we have to overcomplicate it. It doesn't have to be that way.
No,
It's just be true with what you're saying, like you said, and be passionate and
absolutely.
true with what you're saying, and it'll sell. It might take time. It's not going to be
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
know your audience. Like you've learned, like you said, the
100%.
diversity that you guys have created with Cheers, learning your audiences and what they want, the product that you can get to them. Wow.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How would people get a hold of you for Cheers? Let's give them a little plug here.
Cheersnorfolk.ca. And on the socials, there's a couple different, because we were hacked so many times. Instagram is
Yeah, that's another problem
Cheers.
we didn't even talk about.
Cheersnorfolk.ca, I think, is Instagram. And on Facebook, it's Cheers Norfolk. Yeah.
Cool. What we're going to do, folks, is Marie and I are wrapping up this one, but we're going to do another segment so you can watch down the road for a new leaf, hypnosis. So thanks for doing this. Let's chat again.
Thank you, Dave. I'm so glad you called.